And let's take a look outside this morning where Farah Jadrin is tracking conditions in Thurston County. We saw some flurries there in the last hour or so. Farah, what's the latest?
Yeah, it's really turned into a very, very light rain, maybe slightly snow, Jake, but really the drive down from Pearson to Thurston County is just a changing story. We saw some flurries, some steadier, thicker flakes, but then it all kind of dies down at some point. So take a look here. You can see that just a dusting is left over on the streets here in Olympia. We saw maybe a ½ inch to an inch sticking on the grass, but it's really block by block. We saw some areas that look great, barely wet, maybe a little bit dry in some areas, but then you're going to see some areas that do have snow. I do want to point out, though, that on a stretch of I-5 near the Stillicum exit, that did have some sizable flakes coming down and probably about the same amount of snow stuck in the grass. So my best tip is just to be ready for anything, because you could run into some thicker flurries at times, but overall some wet roads altogether. Give yourself some extra time. Take it slow when you get out there, because you don't know if an area was just cold enough to freeze and it could be more slick there. Live in Olympia, Farah Jadrin, King 5 News.
All right, good advice, Farah. Thanks. Let's get up to Snoqualmie Pass this morning. Drew Andre tracking conditions there. A little more snow on the pass this morning than in Olympia. Drew, what's the latest?
Hey there, Jake. Well, actually, right now, as far as the snowfall, it's looking very similar to what Farah is describing. What seems to be like this little mix of rain and a little bit of snow. As far as the drive, maybe if you're heading up this direction to go skiing this weekend or driving through the pass, we noticed about a mile and a half away from the summit where we are right now, we noticed that the roads did start to get a little more slick. You could tell that there potentially was some ice there on the roads. As far as snow plows, we saw one on the road, but none of them actively working. Right now, we're near the salt barn area here where those plows load up. So we'll be keeping an eye on that this morning. We assume they'll be coming out a little bit later. One thing I did want to point out, this is an area where I remember last February being up here on the pass, and this bank of snow was taller than I was, too. And right now, you just see not that much buildup there. So I thought that was a little bit of interesting perspective here on the difference between last year and this year. Of course, there's still more snow that could come this season. But again, right now, this little mix of snow and rain right now, and we'll keep you updated throughout the morning, Jake.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, sir. If you do head over the passes, watch for those conditions. As Drew mentioned, right now, traction tires are advised on Snoqualmie, Stevens, and Blewett passes this morning. Traction tires are required on White Pass. We're also tracking some school closures on your Friday morning. It'll be a snow day for some of you. Right now, Adna, Mossy Rock, and Napa Vine school districts are all closed this morning. In yellow, school districts are starting 2 hours late. That includes you in Aberdeen, Chehalis, Morton, and the Peninsula school districts. Of course, you can always find the latest closures. They're at the bottom of your screen and on king5.com. Rich, not a lot out of this last gasp of winter weather in these last 24 hours. Some good news for folks who don't want to be buried in snow.
Yeah, it's mostly been visual snow. You see it coming down and hitting the ground, but not really sticking very well, because temperatures, when they started falling yesterday, were generally above freezing. So much of what fell yesterday didn't really survive very long. And we're continuing to see some light snow showers out there, or mixed snow and rain showers this morning. We're seeing little shower areas move through. So it's kind of spotty. We've watched one that moved down from up around Arlington. You see over the last 3 hours, that's now dropped down through Everett and headed out towards the east. And as it gets closer to Puget Sound, you're seeing it as mixed rain and snow, or just a little bit of rain, cool rain coming down. And in the South Sound, we watched a little shower go through Olympia a little while ago, and that's off to the east for the moment. But there's still a risk of seeing a few showers around, probably until about mid-morning. But we're not looking for any more significant accumulations. Even in a quote heavy shower, it'll be less than an inch of wet slushy snow you're probably looking at. Temperatures this morning right at or slightly above freezing. We have the cloud cover over that, though, so it's going to make it harder for that ice to form, unless you do have some clearing like we may have up around Bellingham, where it's a little bit colder, down in 27 degrees there. So we're in first alert weather mode until 10 a.m. this morning. By then it should be warm enough that anything that's left over will be coming pretty much as rain in the lowlands, and probably the shower should be pretty much done. We'll be looking for just those scattered areas of light snow during the morning and a few icy spots, and should see a few sun breaks as we head towards this afternoon. See, looking out, looks like maybe a little bit of that shower still coming down there in Everett. Pretty quiet out of the airport right now. In fact, in Tacoma, we're looking at some fog and occasional flurries, and you can see it's basically barren wet pavement out there. High temperatures today, those are going to climb into the upper 30s and low 40s, and it looks like rain returns as we head into the weekend.